Alright, I'm about to go off on a flat base kick for a little while. Um, the RBTs and the 55 grains weren't quite what I expected at 100 meters. I decided, well, let's try the flat base. You know, boat tails don't really kick in to longer distances, and 100 meters isn't considered a long distance, so why not? And the 55 grain flat base with buffalo and blackout worked pretty well. Surprisingly well, since they're not exactly 223 powders per se. Um, so, you can kind of find data, but not much. So, I decided to try some 55 grains um, with match and tactical in the flat base and see how that works out. Hopefully well. And then we move up a little bit. Now these are loaded with precision powder. Finally broke out that bottle and opened it up. It is a short grain extruded powder. Now these are 75 grain flat base. Let's see how they go. Now these you see I'm making these in the batch style, just using the shaker. Let's see what this one is. These are 60 grainers. There's a few that vary, but a lot of them actually came out spot on. So, yeah, few tenths of a grain variance, which is to be expected. You'll see how these fly in flat base. Now, later on, what I plan to do is go back with RBTs and see if there is a magic weight where it all balances out at 100 meters. Because I had a nice group with 77 grain. It's like a 1.2 inch, which for me is outstanding. And what I'd like to do is see if I can back down and find where it all changes, where that cusp is of, well, this ain't great and this is acceptable, or hopefully better than acceptable. Hey, little experimentation here. I'm hoping it's these 60 grainers because these fit in a 22 long rifle case, albeit a heavy one. These are Federal and they are 10.5 grain cases, which is almost at the end of weight. The heavier the case, the less weight, the less lead, the better the case fill before it overflows. Now, hopefully those should come out good because these were 10.4 grain Federals, which means it took a tenth of a grain more lead, and they're pretty nice. They've got just a touch of soft, but not enough to be fragile. 62, you start getting just enough where you pretty much pick it off. This, you're not doing that. I like these. These are nice. Now lighter jackets take a little more lead. Might have to drop them to 59 grain. Make them fit. But still, that'd be okay. Custom. And hopefully that extra 4 grain will make that balanced tip for the RBTs. I have no idea where that it's gonna fall. Hopefully it won't take a ton of testing, but this is my goal, to find out something I hadn't even considered, because I jumped in those RBTs and said, this is it. And yes and no. So These flat bases are easy to make. They are child's play. So there is that. Short distances, bang out the flat bases, and they just go. They're easy. There's no thinking about them. You just do it. Where the RBTs they are more work. So I haven't tried longer distances. Eventually, that will be a whole nother testing where the lightness, how light you can go at a longer distance, but that's far in the future for me. The 300-yard thing, which is still not considered long distance, but it's triple what I'm shooting at. Actually, I'm not sure if my range is 300 yards or 300 meters. It's, that I'll have to figure out eventually. The range was closed down last weekend for a big trap event, so I got nothing there. I had planned on testing these 55 grainers and no dice. When there's a big trap event, they close down the rifle and pistol, so they use that area for parking. And well, the weather wasn't great, so it kind of worked out, but it was okay. Badly overcast, that potential for rain. Yeah, better off. As long as it's nice this weekend, it'll all work out. But time's running short this year, and I'm looking at some knee surgery, which I'm putting off as long as possible because it'll cut into this. They just did a nerve block on it, and so last week I was getting around really good, and the range was closed. So hopefully it will keep things going this weekend, and it won't suck. Oh well. Enough of that. Let me get on with these, and I'll get back to you when I've got some results. What I end up doing when, just depends what I feel like doing at the time, really. The plan is, there's no plan. Because that's the way we roll around here. All right, well, I'll leave you with that, and I'll get back to you when I get back to you. God bless. See ya. Right, had to roll these in. Check this out. These are coming out quite nice. Gah! Who's that remind you of? Hope he's alright. Haven't heard from him in a while. But yes, these are beautiful. Oh, and in case you're curious, here's what happens if you put one in upside down. Instead of point forming this way, you reverse it. Yeah. Well, come out with a nice round nose. Beauty. Problem is, it chops off the base. Funny thing is, when RBTs, it would actually roll it in pretty reasonably, and I'd probably shoot those. But yeah, the flat base, not so much. But that is pretty cool, how the points form. If you get a base punch that consistently rolled them under, like factory, those would be awesome. I wonder how they would perform, if they would perform like ball ammo, round point, or if they would still expand because the brass being softer. I'm genuinely curious. But probably will never find out. Unfortunately. All right, well, just had to roll that in. These with the 10.5 grain jackets are coming out lovely. I mean, perfectly flat noses. I'm quite happy. Hopefully, flight will be just as lovely and, and exceed expectations. All right, well, just had to roll that in there. Yep, that's it. All right, these are fresh out of the tumbler. Let's take a look. They look nice. Forgot to mention, I annealed this brass a little longer, so it seems to be working. And it appears that as long as you use heavy jackets, 60 grains fits just perfectly. Lovely. I'm happy. Not sure when I'll get around to loading these up and testing them out, but they are made and ready to go. I'm excited. All right, well, I'll get back to you later with some results. All right, have a good one. God bless. See you. Shooter's World Precision. Extruded. I'm loading up some 75 grain flat base. Now, the data is for 556 loads. It is 75 grain Hornady boat tail hollow points. But hey, you know, doing things different around here, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Going 21 to 24 grain. The actual data is 20 to 25. I figure since I'm going with flat base, a little more pressure there. Cut back 1 grain and skip the first grain. Why not? I would have that 1 extra load, but I messed up a bullet. Basically, I put it in the point forming die wrong way around. Instead of like that, I put it in like that. And, well, things don't go well. The points come out, you know, nice ball around point. Problem is the base didn't form so well. Come on. It just sheared it right off. If it would have sheared it off evenly, I'd give it a shot, you know, on its own. Not part of a group, but figured, you know, why go with a 1 4-shot group? I'll see what pressures are here before I go any further. But really, that was the only one that didn't come out, you know, acceptable. There are a few, it's like, weed these out because they're not as nice as the rest, but there's only a few, so, and they're just, you know, not nice, not quite as smooth. I mean, like I said, if that's the worst you get, you really don't complain, but what the heck, right? Make these in groups. Alright, well, leave it at that, and come back when I got something to add. Alright, later. See you. God bless. Alright, since the manual before everything I was loading called for 2.245 overall length, these call for 2.25 overall length. I'm just going base to ogive an extra 5 thousandths, you know, since I've got the same profile. Before it was 1.890, now it's 1.895. And these do sit down. Let's see whoops, see if I can get this clear. Come on. They sit down in there a touch at that length. We'll see if we get crunchy. I think it'll be all right. It calls for another grain, but that's with the boat tail, so yeah, I think it's gonna be right about the edge there. Who knows though? Who knows? You just never do. Sometimes you think you'll be crazy powder. Crazy powder. Yeah, crazy pressure. And you're not, and other times you think, this stuff doesn't do anything, and then there's a spike. So, we shall see. Alright, so rolling that in there. And as I go, it's just one of those odd weeks. Alright, in a bit. See it. Alright, I feel I need to clarify something that I didn't in the last video, and that is that I'm not treating these as bench rest loads. These are more akin to trying to develop a good box of ammo. Excuse me. Like the head stamps, now those I match. Like say these are Federal 223, like the dots or the numbers, you know, any markings are matched. But I'm not weighing them. They are not fire formed, they are full length resized, so, and I'm not worrying about volume, because what I am, hopefully it's not too lofty a goal, but I'm hoping to create a reasonable universal load for my rifle and my son's rifle, because I reload for both, and the chambering is really close. The head spacing is only 0.002 difference between the two, and one of them is at 0. So, you know, I go 0.002 off the other, and that puts a 0 at 0.004, which is, you know, within, you know, factory specs. But since they're full length resized, they can be loaded, you know, most rifles actually, so as long as the loads aren't worked way up hot, anybody could grab one and, you know, go for it. Which, you know, emergency, you know, madness happens around the world, you just go and, you know, not worry about it. You know, go, okay, no, this only goes to this rifle. These are mine, they don't fit yours. These are yours, they don't fit mine. Never the twain shall meet. You know, none of that. Life is simple. That's what I'm going for. Keep it simple. And reality, they're not shooting too bad. And that'll help, you know, put in perspective why they're not, you know, shooting up a gnat's butt, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, yeah, they're swaged from rimfire brass, which, you know, you're asking a bit from that, but, you know, I'm shooting under 2.5 MOA at 100 meters, knocking on 2 MOA, sometimes dipping into the 1, sometimes it's over, but, you know, depending on the load. Excuse me. So I figured I should, you know, put that out there so that you bear that in mind. And, you know, come to your own conclusion if I've accomplished anything. Because like last weekend, I did the Blackout and the Buffalo. And Blackout, Lovex has 223 data for light bullets. It did reasonably well, really, the flat base. And the Buffalo, I had to resort to accurate 5744 data. Old and new. I went from the lowest charge out of either to the highest charge out of either 3/10. And exceeded it a little bit and never ran into any pressure issues in either powder. The blackout cycled fine. You know, the grips were mostly reasonable. Like I pointed out, my skill as a shooter is not exactly top notch. I'm still pretty novice. So I add all that together and I go, yeah, I'm doing all right. It's not too bad. I tighten myself up, and maybe with seating depths and stuff, things might get better. Now with these, the match and tactical, I'm only going to go half grain increments this week, and hopefully I'll find a node and work off, that range and seating depths and all that good stuff. Same flat base bullets, same seating depth, everything's basically the same. So hopefully I come up with some good stuff this time. It'll probably be a mix because, just because that's the way things tend to go. But I don't expect to be Johnny or Fortune Cookie anytime in the near future, especially not with the way I'm doing things. And if I were to shoot a group like that, I'd probably fall over. And, somebody have to douse me with water. You break out the defib machine. But, anyway, hopefully that puts it in perspective what I'm trying to accomplish, because it is a different kind of goal than typical bench rest shooting. I'm trying to get as close to those kinds of groups as I can without sacrificing what's the word? The universality of the cartridge for, anybody's use. And if I can get it down, to 2 MOA or a little tighter, I'll be plenty happy, really. I'm averaging the last 2 powders. I averaged everything together. I was at 2.5, 2.5 inch grooves and 2.5 MOA. When I averaged everything out, so they're not even optimized powders. So, yay me, I guess. I'll take that as a win because I wasn't averaging 3 or 4 or something stupid. But anyway, I'll leave you with that for now, and I'll roll in what I come up with, provided the weather cooperates and, all the other variables. All right, well, I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you in a bit. See you.